what's up? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'll be talking to singer, songwriter, and producer, and the frontman of the multi-platinum band Third Eye Blind, Stephan Jenkins. Let's go.
That's my kind. I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
Nice digs, by the way. I was kind of impressed.
Thank you. Do you like the design? Because I feel like you're a design guy.
I wasn't really scrutinizing.
Okay, good. Thank God.
But I really enjoyed walking through it. Smells good. So
Smells
Janice,
big.
So Janice comes out and she is assistant TM. Mm-hmm. But she's dealing with this overwrought, politely sexist tour manager.
Okay.
Still redeemable.
Redeemable, but has some flaws.
Redeemable, but definitely like there's some issues.
A flawed
that
person.
They just had to go work out on.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's her first tour, and she's beloved to Third Eye Blind
to
band
everyone.
and crew.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we wrote her a song.
Really?
Yes.
Janice
has a song.
For those of you listening, Janice is a producer on this show and has worked with me for a few years now. She's beloved by all here as well.
So I think it was her first night on a tour bus.
Yeah.
And it was this winter thing. It was just fucking freezing. Mm-hmm. And we were doing Christmas shows. So we were off doing Christmas radio shows. I'm sure you've done your share.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know the deal.
it's holidays. It's dark out. That puts you in a certain kind of mood.
Yeah, it's a little moody.
But it also makes you a bit punchy all the time because there's no light. So we're punchy as fuck. And we're driving off into the icy night somewhere on the East Coast. It's her first night on a tour bus, but it's band and crew. So we're like stuffed in there. There's, 12 people on this crew. And we're all up in the front lounge. And Janice, who's never been on this, puts on quite reasonably her jammies. And she's wearing jammies. And it was great. It was such a great start. It was like, how charming. And we were trying to get her to come up into the front lounge and
she's like, I'm ready. I'm in my pajamas.
She's just like, this is just a bunch of black clad roadies up here. And we were all singing, but not only were we singing, but we had the window open in the front, and it was probably about maybe 13, 14 degrees before the wind chill. And we're going 75 miles an hour down the road. And the thing is, you hold your arm out in the back. You must have done this game, right? You throw the banana at the front, and then you catch it.
Never done that game. That's genius, though.
Joel, it's good.
Does anyone ever catch it?
Yeah, and when they do, the whole bus erupts, and then you want to show everybody this
how
splattered
many
banana in
bananas
your
do
hands.
you waste playing that game?
Countless.
Yeah.
Endless.
Thanks for coming.
Pleasure to be here. It's good to see you again.
It's been a while.
When was the last time?
God, it'd be 10 years probably.
Not on that tour, was it?
It wasn't on Warped Tour. Some other tour or something that we did.
I really didn't like that tour.
Yeah, I could tell.
I liked you.
Yeah, I liked
Could you
too.
tell?
No, I couldn't tell actually. But
I like the people.
If I'm being honest, and this might be why Janice stayed in the back of the bus in her pajamas.
She came out eventually.
Eventually she came out because that's how you are. You warm us up because you're a little intimidating in your own way because you're very good looking.
No.
Tons of bands and musicians would cite your records as like really formative records in their like musical development. And I also think the ability to create this rock and roll music that's big songs, different ways of delivering. There was a lot of stuff you did on your records and still do on your records, but there's a style to Third Eye Blind that's like itself. There's nothing else like it. It's very to itself. I don't even know where the genre falls. I don't know what other band I would say. It's a very interesting, unique band. And I remember meeting you the first time and I was just like really intimidated, but you were very nice. So that made it great. But Janice is probably like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going up there in my pajamas. Probably take a minute to feel like she could come up there. And that's she's also very respectful. I noticed with Janice, like in a room with space, and she gives people their space. So I feel like that was probably why she didn't come up right away in her pajamas.
It's really hard for me to absorb compliments.
I bet.
And I appreciate that.
One of one.
I don't know what to say about
one of one
being that. Yeah, but thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if there's anything to say about it. I don't know what I would say if someone said that to me, but
I would, I think what I could say about that is I would like that praise to turn into me finishing the lyrics for my new album that's supposed to be out for this tour that I can't finish.
wonder why you can't finish it.
Well, I think distractions for one thing. And it takes a long time, doesn't it, to get into the space. It takes probably about 40 minutes to actually just get into space where you're eligible to encounter the music. And then there's the core of the song. And it's not what the song is about. I think one has to be very careful. Songs, I don't think, are about something, because about is like around. It's more of like, what is the core impulse of the song? And you can write a bunch of it. You can you can scurry around the basketball court and do a lot of dribbling, but to actually hit the basket, you have to be in line with the core intent of the song. And it happens to me every time. I find that oftentimes elusive.
Is that the longest part of the record?
Yeah, for sure.
Finishing?
For sure.
It's like starting is
Isn't it for you? The last 5% takes
longer.
At least 99% of the time.
Yeah, every record's different though. Well, we haven't done a record in 6 years.
Uh-huh.
So we're starting.
TikTok.
Yeah, it feels like TikTok. We're starting one in like a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll either go really fast or it'll be really slow.
Have you written the songs?
Haven't written the songs. But I've been in this like stream of consciousness thing the last couple of years. Like I don't want to overthink it. So I want to let it come out and just like, and then judge it after we make it. So I don't want to think about it while we make it. I just want to do what feels good.
It's the best feeling.
And then like on the other side of it, listen to
I want to do that too.
It's easier.
It's what I tell people, when I'm asked for advice about songwriting. I say, don't judge yourself. Don't write good songs. Don't write bad songs. Just write songs. And it's a terrible thing to do to music to try to make it good. Just make it.
I just kind of want to like vomit it up and then see what it is.
Yeah. That is a much more rock and roll mindset than trying to make something good.
Well, I've tried to make good things and I got so confused. I got so overly confused. And then at the end, it's not that I don't like the record, because each record has a special, like it's supposed to be the record that was supposed to be part of the story, whatever, like however it came out, even if I was overthinking it or trying too hard or trying to do this, I can't judge it. I just have to go, that's where I was at. And I had to go through that to get to the other side of it. And now I look back on it and I wouldn't do that again. Like I'll never overthink a record again based on that record. So now let's try this. So I feel like I'm giving myself relief from needing to be successful or good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's kind of how we started before it mattered.
Right. So you've got one has the internal core self. And then you have these external forces of how is this going to be perceived? How does this sound? Where does this fit in? All these other kinds of things. And it's very, very easy to drift into the external world.
So easy.
And the artist's job is to regather and stay within that core self, even if that core self is broken.
Yeah.
Which is a very productive place. It's still where one needs to be. And I think that is a constant battle.
Yeah.
What I do, part of my process is that I just write things down. So I have pages and pages and pages and pages of phrases and words and ideas. Those are not judged at all. I mean, I have hundreds of pages of that. After the fact in time, it tells me who I am and what I was interested in, but I don't actually know. It's actually a passive form of discovery. It's also my state in the zeitgeist. Mm-hmm. Where are you at right now? And I find a lot of this current era confusing and
overwhelming,
mind-numbing, bewildering. Yeah. In a way that, say, like, you know, in COVID, in the lockdown, I did the same thing everybody else did. Kind of just started scrolling and, you know, drinking too much wine at night and, you know, kind of hiding out. And then I just felt shamed by Taylor Swift. She's like, well, Taylor just put out a fucking record.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I need to stop this. This is unhealthy. I need to go out into my little studio and with my notepad, my guitar, and take stock of things. And I was really quite able to do that. And that was how Our Band Apart got written, was in that state. Right now, again, it's not some like essay or anything. It's just like lining up on my angle, my attitude, my trajectory through these times. Is
like looking at
tough.
a painting or each painting, if you see the songs, and like going like, oh, this one's done.
Yeah,
It's hard to do that.
it is. But you know when it's done.
Yeah.
It's coming. It better be coming because I'm starting a tour
When's the tour start?
June
June
7th.
June 7th.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming up quick, dude.
Yeah,
You got a
something's
month.
coming out. Yeah. Yeah, I really have to have Brad, our drummer, you know.
Yep.
He said, hey, you got to have some.
Let's ship this thing.
You got to have this thing. You got to, because the album's tracked.
Yeah. What's
All the ones
left?
I want to
Some
redo.
bits and pieces
My
of vocals?
My vocals.
Or all the vocals?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I have a lot of the words, but until I have them all, if I don't have them all, then I can't sing any of them because it all has to be of a piece. Yeah.
You know what I do? A lot of times I'll like always record. So I don't write anything down. So I always go in and freestyle. That's how I write every song.
Really?
Yeah. On the mic.
So you do a lot of meh, kind of like,
Yeah.
I sing the sound of the word
And
before
then I
knowing what
find
it
the
is.
words and they start to take shape
Yeah.
and then it starts, or I'll have a phrase in my head when like Ben just playing the guitar part or the guys or whatever. And then I'll be like, once they track something, I'll go in and I'll have maybe even humming along or whatever, but then I'll go in and I'll start singing and the idea will take me somewhere. And sometimes it's where I started and sometimes I end up completely in a different place. But when I finish the idea and there are real words there and I'm singing something, I always keep those vocals and I try to perform them as good as possible. And then like I'll live with like a bounce a demo of it and live with it. And then I'll start making tweaks on like, oh, I could say that line better and I'll re-sing that line. And usually it's made in patches like from the demo state.
That's a good idea. Good idea. Because that is like that, because like when you get into that thing first and you've got this, your first reactive excitement
there's
is
energy
super
there.
important. Yeah. A friend of mine asked me to sing on his record and he sent me the track and I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to listen to it until I had a tape recorder on and then he gave me the track. It had some other, I said I didn't want any other vocals on it. He turned it on and I just started singing and I basically sang the track there. So if we're doing that for somebody else, I'm quite comfortable doing it. I think I get stuck with myself.
With yourself. I wonder what that is. I wonder what kind of pressure you're putting on yourself.
I think also musically, you know, more and more the special effect, the exciting thing has nothing to do with a MacBook Pro.
Right.
And, you know, the thing that is really like fireworks is the humanness of it and the vulnerability of the track. And the places where I've been most disappointed with my own production, because I just produce along with somebody else all my records, is where I start to polish too much. I get too fussy or like go, you know what, it's a good track, but let's just pitch it just a little bit, like, or let's time correct it a little bit. Any of that stuff to me is always a drag, and I'm really tend not to be moved by music that has all the frequencies and it's like dropping in the fat bottom and everything comes in, it's punching, and it doesn't tend to move me. You actually had a band, you had a guy on who I hadn't heard of, and I listened to it, kind of a heavy band.
Bad Omens?
Yeah.
They're sick.
So that's exactly what I'm talking about.
But you know, he produces everything.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, that like I want to move away from, But then I listened to that and I'm like, okay, but I actually really like that. Like I listened to some of his music, and it's super like maximum frequencies, like maximum, boom, needle slam. It's maximalist.